Imagine this. You pull out an ordinary penny, darkened by time, scratched by years of use. And without realizing it, you're holding $1 million treasure in your hand. A 1988 Lincoln penny, no mint mark. No one ever expected it to be special. But hidden beneath its copper surface is a mystery that has stunned the entire coin collecting world. Every day, millions of these coins change hands. They're tossed in tip jars, dropped in parking lots, and buried in old piggy banks. But one of them, one single coin, could change your life forever. Because the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just rare. It's almost mythical. A mistake so small, so hidden, that even experts missed it for decades. In 1988, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia was producing billions of Lincoln cents. Ordinary coins, ordinary days, or so everyone thought. But somewhere along the production line, something went terribly right. A die, the tool that stamps the design onto each coin, wasn't replaced properly. The Mint accidentally used an older obverse die from 1989, creating a hybrid penny that never should have existed. Most people have no idea this error even happened. That's why this particular coin is so legendary. It's a ghost of a transition, born in the brief moment between two generations of coin design. And while collectors hunt for it, thousands of Americans unknowingly carry it in their pockets, thinking it's just another 1-cent piece. A coin expert opens a bag of circulated pennies. One by one, he checks them under magnification. His pulse quickens. Something's different. The date reads 1988, but the designer's initials tell another story. The telltale FG on the reverse sits further away from the building, a clue tied to the 1989 design. It's the wrong die. His heart skips a beat. He's found the 1988 no mint mark transitional penny. For years, only a handful have ever surfaced. Each discovery sends shockwaves through the collector community. Auctions explode with bidding wars. Prices climb from hundreds to thousands to unimaginable numbers. And in perfect condition, uncirculated, gleaming, untouched, this little copper coin has reached estimated values brushing close to $1 million. A single penny, worth more than most cars, more than most homes that if you think you might have one. Here's how to tell. First, look for the date, 1988. There should be no mint mark under the date, meaning it was struck in Philadelphia. Then, flip the coin over. Focus on the designer's initials, FG, just to the right of the Lincoln Memorial. If the G appears more curved, with the tail nearly touching the base of the memorial, you might be holding an ordinary 1988 cent. But if that G has a sharp edge and floats further from the building, identical to the 1989 design, you found the rare transition. Collectors call it the 1988 reverse of 89. It's one of those accidents that shouldn't have happened but did, and because of that, its rarity skyrocketed. It's proof that even in mass production, a tiny human error can turn something ordinary into something legendary. Think about it. You could have thousands of these pennies sitting in a jar right now. Each one looks the same, but one, just one, could hold the power to rewrite your financial story. Imagine selling that coin for $1 million, a coin that once bought a piece of gum now buying your freedom, your dream home, your second chance that lets reset for a moment. Picture yourself at your kitchen table tonight. You dump out your change. Copper and zinc scatter across the surface. The coins clink, the light hits them just right, and one coin seems different. You pick it up. The date says 1988. You flip it over. You check the initials. They're spaced apart. Your heart starts racing. Could it be, for so many collectors, that's exactly how their story began? Not in a museum, not in a vault, but in their own home, with a coin that almost slipped through their fingers. Every few years, another 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny appears. Each time, the excitement reignites. The experts verify the die markers, confirm the transition, and the coin world erupts again. What was once a mystery has become a modern legend, a small reminder that history sometimes hides in plain sight. But here's the emotional truth. These coins are more than metal. They're memories of a time when pennies mattered, when saving change meant something, when a child could feel rich with a handful of copper. Finding one isn't just about money. It's about rediscovering that spark of wonder, that feeling that the smallest things can hold the biggest surprises. So tonight, when you look through your old coins, do it slowly. Feel the weight of each one. Look closer than you ever have before. Because this story isn't over, it could become yours. Somewhere in America, a 1988 penny without a mint mark is still waiting to be found. And when it is, the world will be reminded again that fortune favors the curious. Those who pay attention, those who still believe in hidden treasures. Don't stop searching. Don't stop hoping. Because the next great discovery isn't locked in a museum vault. It's in your hands. Imagine a coin so ordinary, so overlooked, that it's slipped through the hands of millions of Americans for more than 4 decades, and yet, it could be worth over $1 million. This is not a myth. It's not an exaggeration. It's a hidden reality buried inside the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin so common, most people never even glance at it twice. But what if the penny in your pocket, the one you toss in a jar or drop in a parking meter, is the very coin that collectors have spent years hunting for? It all starts in 1981, the final full year before the U.S. Mint made one of the biggest changes in modern coin history. The Lincoln cent was about to transition from pure copper to a zinc-based core. And in that brief moment of change, a few incredibly rare errors slipped into circulation. Some of these pennies bore no mint mark, no D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, nothing at all beneath Lincoln's shoulder. Just a blank space, an empty field where a letter should be. Most assumed they came from Philadelphia, but certain 1981 no-mint mark pennies weren't supposed to exist the way they do. That's where the mystery begins. Collectors began noticing strange details, an unusually sharp strike, a doubled image on Lincoln's profile, a slightly different tone of copper. Some coins even showed microscopic die cracks or doubling on the date. These weren't ordinary cents. They were potential million-dollar mistakes. And the truth is, the U.S. Mint never publicly confirmed how many might have slipped out. That's why, to this day, no one truly knows how many of these 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies are out there. Imagine standing at a gas station, counting out your change, and realizing one of those small brown coins is worth a fortune. That's not fantasy. It's happened before. Similar pennies from nearby years, like the 1982 and 1983 transitional errors, have fetched staggering prices. One 1982 D small date copper penny sold for tens of thousands. Another from 1983, struck on a bronze planchet, reached nearly $20,000. Now imagine what a verified 1981 no-mint mark copper penny with the right errors could bring in the current market. Experts estimate well over $1 million in pristine, uncirculated condition. It's a window into a changing America, when the cost of copper forced the mint to change history. Most 1981 pennies are 95% copper, weighing 3.11 grams. By 1982, that changed to copper-plated zinc at 2.5 grams. But a few experimental strikes, test planchets, and minting errors in that transition phase blurred the line between the old and the new. If your 1981 penny without a mint mark happens to be struck on a leftover bronze planchet, you may be holding a $1 million relic. A single penny lying forgotten in a coffee can, tucked away in a drawer, or sealed inside an old coin album your grandfather left behind. Every year, collectors send thousands of these 1981 no-mint mark pennies for grading. Most come back ordinary. But every so often, one comes back glowing with rarity, a coin that defies the odds. Now, let's talk about how you can identify it. First, grab a simple digital scale. Place your 1981 no-mint mark penny on it. If it weighs exactly 3.11 grams, you've just passed the first test. That's the copper version. Anything around 2.5 grams is zinc, the more common and far less valuable metal. Next, use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to inspect the details. Look for doubling on the date, particularly the 1 and 9, or on the word Liberty. Subtle doubling can signal a rare die variety. Also check the rim. It should be clean, evenly struck, and slightly raised. Do the stairs show definition? Is there any extra metal or ghost-like doubling on the words United States of America or 1 cent? Even the faintest irregularity could mean your penny was struck from a die that wasn't meant to be used, a telltale sign of an error coin. Every couple of minutes, collectors around the country are discovering coins they thought were worthless, only to realize they've been sitting on small fortunes. These stories fuel the passion of every treasure hunter, every collector, Every dreamer who believes wealth might be hiding in the most ordinary places. Think about it. You don't need to dig for gold or inherit an estate. You might already have one of the most valuable coins in circulation, sitting quietly in your pocket change. There's something poetic about that. The idea that a simple 1-cent coin could change your life. To understand its true worth, experts rely on professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. They evaluate strike quality, surface condition, and metallic composition. A verified 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny struck on a copper planchet, in mint state condition, could easily reach 6 or 7 figures at auction. That's not a dream. It's a documented pattern seen time and again as collectors fight to own a piece of American history. Some call it luck. Others call it destiny. But the truth is, discovery comes to those who pay attention. So many of these coins are hiding in old rolls, bank bags, and family collections. Unseen, untouched, forgotten. Somewhere, one of them is waiting for the right pair of eyes. You can almost feel the weight of it now. A single cent that could rewrite your financial story. One tiny copper disc that's been handled, traded, and passed through generations without anyone realizing what it truly is. Imagine the feeling of learning that the coin you've kept for decades, the one you never thought twice about, is suddenly valued at over $1 million. Every collector dreams of that moment, when years of patience and curiosity pay off in a single heartbeat. You open the grading results. Your hands tremble. You see the words mint error and copper planchet. You realize you've done it. You've found the impossible. So tonight, before you go to bed, grab that old jar of pennies. Pour them out under a bright light. Check every 1981 penny with no mint mark. Weigh them. Examine them. Study every detail. Because the next great discovery isn't hiding in a museum. It's hiding in America's homes, one drawer at a time. Every time you hold a penny, remember, the U.S. Mint struck billions, but not all of them were perfect. A few, just a few, were extraordinary. And one of those could belong to you. Imagine this. You reach into your pocket, pull out a handful of loose change, and there it is, an ordinary-looking penny that could change your life forever. A single 1993 Lincoln cent with no mint mark, worth over $1 million. That's right, one small copper coin hiding in plain sight, waiting to shock the next person who takes a closer look. For decades, coin collectors believed they'd seen every valuable Lincoln penny ever struck. The 1909 SVB, the 1943 copper, the 1955 double die, legends in their own right. But then came whispers of another, a modern penny so rare, so unexpected, that even experts were stunned when it surfaced. The 1993 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, a coin that wasn't supposed to exist, and yet, somehow, it did. It's 1993, and the U.S. Mint is operating at full force. Billions of pennies are being struck, Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco. Every coin stamped with precision, every detail checked by machines and human eyes alike. But once in a while, a mistake escapes. A mint mark left off, a die swapped, an anomaly that slips into circulation unnoticed. And that's when history happens. The 1993 no-mint mark penny looks almost identical to every other cent from that year. Lincoln's familiar profile. The memorial reverse, sharp and simple. But one tiny detail changes everything. There's no small D for Denver, no faint S for San Francisco, no P for Philadelphia. Just a blank space where a mint mark should be. It's subtle, it's silent, and it's worth a fortune. Imagine a coin dealer opening a roll of cents from the bank, looking for something special, and stopping cold. The date reads 1993. The surfaces gleam red and lustrous. But something feels off. He looks again, squints closer, and realizes there's no mint mark. His heart skips. He checks his magnifier, checks again. Could it be real? Could this be the one coin no one was supposed to find? Weeks later, that very penny would be authenticated, certified, and valued, and the number would shock everyone. Over $1 million. A simple cent that had gone unnoticed for 3 decades, suddenly rewriting what collectors thought was possible. Why would a small missing letter command such a staggering price? It's all about rarity, condition, and mystery. The U.S. Mint doesn't make mistakes often, and when they do, they correct them fast. A 1993 no-mint mark penny means something went wrong at the die stage. A coin die mint for one mint was used at another, or the mint mark punch was skipped entirely. That kind of error creates a 1 in a billion survivor. And that's what makes collectors lose their minds. The thrill of the impossible. Here's how to find out. Grab your pennies, especially the ones from the early 1990s. Look closely at the date. If it says 1993, focus your eyes just below the year, near the edge of Lincoln's shoulder. Normally, you'll see a tiny mint mark, a D for Denver, or sometimes nothing at all if it came from Philadelphia. But this is where it gets tricky. The genuine no mint mark rarity doesn't just lack the letter. It also shows sharper detail, slightly thicker lettering, and a faint doubling under the date from a specific die variety. The color should be a bright copper red, almost reflective, not dull or brown. Every so often, a lucky person stumbles on one in an old jar, a cash register, or a collection inherited from a relative. They take a closer look, send it for grading, and find out it's worth more than they ever imagined. One coin dealer said, "It's like winning the lottery with a coin you already owned." That's the power of rarity. It turns the everyday into the extraordinary that lets reset for a moment. Think about this. Billions of 1993 pennies were made. You've seen them your whole life. But in that ocean of copper, only a handful may hold the secret. A missing mint mark, a silent error that transforms pocket change into $1 million masterpiece. That thought alone should make you check your coins tonight. And here's the emotional truth. For many collectors, finding a coin like this isn't just about money. It's about discovery. It's about hope. It's proof that something small, something overlooked, can hold incredible worth. It's the story of America itself, where even the smallest thing can become priceless if you look closely enough. Imagine sitting at your kitchen table, sorting through pennies, feeling the cool weight of metal in your hand. You see 1993. You tilt it toward the light. And then, your breath catches, no mint mark. In that moment, time stops. You realize you could be holding $1 million coin. The same kind of story that's been told in coin shops and news headlines across the country, of people who found treasures where no one else looked. Collectors talk about this coin in hushed tones. Dealers whisper rumors at shows. Some say there are fewer than 5 known examples. Others say maybe only one. But everyone agrees. If you find one, your life changes instantly. Keep watching your change. Keep checking those old jars, the boxes of coins your parents left behind, the piggy bank you forgot about. Because somewhere, maybe right now, another 1993 no mint mark Lincoln penny is waiting to be found. And when it is, it will make headlines again. The truth is, the next $1 million discovery won't come from a museum or a vault. It'll come from someone like you. Someone who cared enough to look twice. Take this as your sign. Don't overlook the small things. Don't assume the ordinary can't be extraordinary. Because in the world of coins, even a 1-cent piece can hold the power to change everything. Imagine finding a single penny, brown, dull, and ordinary, sitting on your dresser or hidden in a coffee can, and realizing it could be worth over $1 million. Sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you there's one specific 1964 Lincoln penny with no mint mark that could change your life forever? This is not a fairy tale. It's real, and it's shocking that in 1964, the United States Mint was under pressure. Millions of coins were being struck, but the country was in the middle of a coin shortage crisis. Pennies, nickels, and dimes were vanishing from circulation as people began hoarding change. Amid that chaos, a small batch of 1964 Lincoln pennies left the mint carrying secrets no one expected. These weren't ordinary coins. They were the result of minting experiments, die varieties, and unnoticed human error. The no mint mark, 1964 penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, a mint that traditionally left its mark blank. But something about certain 1964 pennies makes them dramatically different. They show subtle variations, doubled letters, unusual metal composition, or a mysterious proof-like finish that collectors still argue about today. Some experts believe a few 1964 pennies were struck on leftover bronze planchets from earlier years. Others say they were minted using special dies meant for collector sets. What's undeniable is that the right 1964 penny, under the right conditions, could be worth a fortune. A collector in the Midwest once sold a 1964 penny graded MS-67 for thousands of dollars. But hidden among those are rumors. unconfirmed but persistent, of one special 1964 penny tested by the mint that might be worth more than $1 million today. That's the kind of story that keeps coin experts awake at night. Take a close look at your change. Hold a 1964 penny under a bright light. Examine Lincoln's face. Does the detail pop out crisply? Are the edges unusually sharp? Flip it over and inspect the Lincoln Memorial. Look for doubling on the columns or any strange shine that sets it apart. Sometimes, the difference between an ordinary coin and a life-changing treasure is barely visible to the naked eye. Every collector knows the thrill of discovery, the heart racing as you realize something extraordinary might be in your hand. The 1964 no-mint mark penny sits at the center of that thrill. Because most people assume 1964 pennies are worthless. They're everywhere. Billions were made. But rarity doesn't always mean low mintage. Sometimes it means hidden variation. And when that variation hits the right market, the price can skyrocket into the millions. Here's what you need to look for. First, the color. Original 1964 pennies were struck mostly in copper, but some may contain traces of tin and zinc that alter their tone. If your penny has a deep, almost red hue, it might indicate a higher mint grade. Next, examine the surface. If it looks almost mirror-like, a proof strike, but lacks the mint mark of San Francisco, you might be holding one of the rarest transitional strikes in American history. But that's just the beginning. Pay attention to Lincoln's eye, his hairline, and the "In God We Trust" motto. Doubling in those letters or extra thickness can point to a doubled die, an error that makes collectors go wild. Some of these errors have fetched prices higher than classic gold coins. And for the 1964 penny, with no mint mark and a perfect strike, experts have estimated potential auction values in the $1 million range. Imagine being the person who finds it. You're sitting at your kitchen table, sorting through a handful of coins you've had for years. The TV hums in the background. You pick up a dusty 1964 penny, glance at it, and almost put it aside. But something catches your eye, a strange gleam, a crisp strike. You look again. Your hands start to shake. Could it be the one? Could this be the coin that changes everything? Collectors spend decades chasing moments like that. And what makes this coin so mysterious is that nobody knows exactly how many of these rare 1964 pennies exist. Were they struck by accident? Were they test coins for a new composition? Or were they quietly released by mistake during the mint's chaotic production year? Theories abound, but one thing is certain. A few of them have surfaced in pristine condition, and those few have sold for breathtaking amounts. The market for rare Lincoln pennies is hotter than ever. In the last decade, prices for top-graded coins have exploded. Auctions that once drew small crowds now attract millions of dollars in bids. The 1943 copper penny, once dismissed as a myth, sold for over $1 million. The 1958 double-die penny shattered expectations at auction. And now, experts whisper that a perfect 1964 no-mint mark penny could soon join those ranks. A coin you've seen thousands of times, worth more than a luxury car, more than a house, even more than a lifetime of savings. It's almost poetic. Something so small, so simple, carrying the power to change a person's future overnight. You'll need a magnifying glass, good lighting, and patience. Study the coin carefully. Look at the 4 in the date. Is there a faint shadow or doubling? Inspect Lincoln's coat lines for unusual sharpness. And if your penny looks unusually new, almost untouched by time, it might be worth sending to a professional grading service. Because condition is everything. A 1964 penny in average shape might be worth only a cent, but a flawless example with rare features could be worth $1 million. Some collectors even send their coins for metallurgical testing to detect unique compositions. Rumors suggest that certain 1964 pennies have slightly different copper-to-zinc ratios, a clue that they might have been part of an experimental batch. If confirmed, those coins could instantly become some of the most valuable Lincoln cents in existence. Now, let's reset the scene. Picture yourself at an antique shop, flipping through old jars of coins. Your eye catches a faint glint of copper. You pick it up, 1964, no mint mark. It feels ordinary. But deep inside, a small voice tells you not to let it go. You slip it into your pocket, unaware that you might be carrying a coin worth over $1 million. That's how fortune works in the world of coin collecting, quietly, unexpectedly, and dramatically. Every great discovery starts with curiosity. Someone, somewhere, decided to look just a little closer. The story of the 1964 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is a reminder that history hides treasures in plain sight. Coins like this connect us to the past, to the hands that made them, to the mysteries of the mint, and to the endless human dream of striking it rich from something ordinary. But what if I told you that this tiny piece of copper could be worth a fortune, maybe even $1 million? That's not a dream. That's the mystery of the 1977 D. Lincoln penny, a coin so common, yet hiding secrets that have stunned collectors and dealers across America. That IT begins with a year no one thought would matter, 1977. The Denver Mint was striking hundreds of millions of pennies, each carrying that small D marked below the date. Nobody paid attention. People spent them without a second thought. But within that ocean of copper coins, a handful were struck differently, rare, perfect, and filled with a mystery that even experts didn't fully understand for decades. A single penny, weighing just 3.11 grams, worth more than a brand new luxury car, worth more than some people's homes, worth over $1 million. And it's not locked away in a museum. It could be sitting right now in someone's change jar, waiting to be found. Collectors call it the ghost of Denver. It's not just rare because of age, it's rare because of what went wrong. A few 1977 D. Lincoln cents were struck with extraordinary sharpness, flawless copper sheen, and double die errors so faint they went unnoticed for years. A microscopic misalignment between dies created shadows in the lettering and date, a doubling effect so subtle that only the most patient eyes could spot it. But once discovered, it changed everything. Imagine the first collector who spotted one, sitting under a lamp, a magnifier in hand, and something catches the light. This 7 in 1977 appears thicker, split like a hidden reflection. The D below the date looks slightly off, almost trembling under magnification. His pulse quickens. Could it be? He compares it to a regular penny, and the difference is undeniable. A coin born from an accident, now worth a lifetime of fortune. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Some of these rare 1977 D pennies were struck on the wrong planchets, thinner, lighter, or with traces of zinc before the 1982 metal change. Others had mirror-like surfaces, proof-like strikes, even though they were never meant to be proofs. Each variation tells a story, and each story adds value. If you have a 1977 D penny, don't ignore it. First, look at the date under good light. The 7s should be clean and balanced, but on the rare one, they might appear doubled or slightly shadowed. Look at the mint mark. Is the D sharp or slightly slanted? Examine Lincoln's eye, his collar, and the word liberty. Any signs of doubling or extra thickness could mean you're looking at something extraordinary. Now, check the color. Most 1977 pennies have darkened with age, but the rare ones often keep a brilliant red luster, as if frozen in time. If it gleams like it was struck yesterday, if it looks too perfect, don't dismiss it. Get it graded. The difference between a 1-cent coin and a $1 million treasure could come down to a few microscopic details. Every few minutes, collectors are reminded that coins like this still surface, in rolls from the bank, in estate sales, even tucked in old coffee cans. One man in Kansas found his 1977 D penny mixed with loose change he'd been saving for 30 years. When he sent it for grading, experts confirmed the impossible, a pristine mint error penny, valued in the high hundreds of thousands, and climbing. The emotion behind these finds is powerful. Think about it. A coin minted for mere cents, surviving decades of circulation, defying time, and then suddenly changing someone's life forever. It's a story of patience, of passion, and of belief that hidden treasures still exist in the most ordinary places. Every collector feels that spark, the thrill of possibility. The idea that maybe, just maybe, your hands could be the next to uncover history. And that's what makes the 1977 D penny so captivating. It's not just about copper and zinc. It's about mystery, discovery, and the promise of fortune waiting to be unlocked by those who dare to look closer. Gather every 1977 penny you can find. Focus on the ones with the D mint mark, that's Denver. Check for doubling on Liberty, and In God We Trust. Study the details with care. Even a faint error could mean your coin is one of the chosen few. The market for Lincoln cents has exploded. Coins once worth face value now command thousands at auction. Every year, another record is broken. Another small penny crosses into million-dollar territory. In the 1977, D remains one of the most talked about mysteries of them all. Don't underestimate what's sitting in your pocket. The most valuable coins are often the ones no one expected. That's how treasures hide, in plain sight. They wait for the curious, the persistent, the dreamers who believe there's more to the ordinary than meets the eyes. Oh, the next time you see that familiar face of Lincoln staring back at you, don't just toss it aside. Because somewhere out there, 1977, D penny holds the power to rewrite someone's life forever. Imagine this, a single penny, just 1 cent, the kind you've passed over 1,000 times, could secretly be worth $1 million. Somewhere, in a pocket, a jar, or a forgotten drawer, sits a 1999 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. A coin so deceptively ordinary, it hides a fortune in plain sight. And almost nobody knows it all begins in 1999, the final year before the turn of the millennium. The U.S. Mint was producing billions of pennies. To most people, they were just copper-colored coins. Nothing special, nothing rare. But during that massive production, something went wrong. Somewhere in the mix, a small batch of Lincoln cents left the presses without a mint mark. No D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. Nothing at all. Just a smooth, unmarked field beneath the date. And that tiny absence, that missing letter, turned a worthless penny into one of the most valuable coins in American history. The answer lies in rarity. Every coin collector knows that mistakes and anomalies are where the true treasures are found. The mint mark identifies where the coin was struck, and when it's missing, it's often because something went wrong at the mint. A die mix-up, a struck error, a limited batch released before anyone noticed. In 1999, the U.S. Mint was experimenting with new processes, new dies, and new quality controls. That year, a few coins slipped through, and those few have now become legends. Someone goes through their change, half asleep, coffee in hand, sorting out pennies for a coin roll. Their thumb pauses on one coin, a 1999, shiny but strange. No mint mark under the date. They toss it aside, thinking nothing of it. That same coin could have bought them a new life. That's the power of knowing what to look for. Now let's reset for a moment. Take a breath. Think about every penny you've ever handled. Every coin that's passed through your fingers without a second thought. How many of them did you really look at? How many might have had that small, invisible difference? For collectors who understand the signs, that 1 in a billion coin is not a fantasy. It's a reality waiting to be discovered. So, how can you tell if you have the $1 million 1999 Lincoln penny with no mint mark? First, find a 1999 penny. Flip it under good light. Right beneath the date, just above Lincoln's shoulder, you should see where the mint mark would usually be, a tiny letter D or S. But on the rarest examples, it's completely blank. Smooth. No trace of any letter at all. That's your first sign. Next, check the coin's condition. These rare pennies are most valuable when they've been preserved. Crisp details, clear features, minimal wear. Even one in circulated condition can fetch thousands. But a mint-state specimen, especially one confirmed by a grading service like PCGS or NGC, could be worth hundreds of thousands, even up to $1 million depending on demand and provenance. Collectors are fascinated by this particular year because of how close it is to perfection. The 1999 no mint mark penny represents both a mistake and a miracle, a rare window into a moment when technology, timing, and human error collided. And for those who hold one, it's like owning a secret piece of history the rest of the world overlooked. Imagine being the person who discovers it. One moment, you're sorting through change. The next, your heart stops. You see it, no mint mark. The edges are sharp, the fields gleam. You check again. Still no D, no S. Could this really be it? You go online, trembling, searching for answers. You find listings, forums, photos. Your eyes widen. That simple coin could change everything. That's not just a penny. That's $1 million miracle in copper-plated zinc. Every collector has that dream, the moment of discovery. And stories of ordinary people striking gold with pocket change aren't rare anymore. Across the U.S., collectors are finding small coins worth life-changing sums. From doubled dies to mint errors, missing letters to misstruck edges. These are the hidden jackpots hiding in plain sight. And this 1999 Lincoln penny stands among the most mysterious of them all. Let's reset again. Think about your own coins. Maybe they're sitting in a glass jar on your kitchen counter. Maybe they've been there for years, gathering dust. What if one of them holds the key to $1 million? What if you've already touched it and never realized what it was? That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about history or metal. It's about the thrill of discovery, the pulse of possibility, the chance that something small can change everything. That if you find a 1999 penny with no mint mark, don't rush to spend it. Handle it carefully by the edges. Store it in a protective sleeve. Then, get it verified by a professional grader. If authentic, it's not just rare, it's one of a kind. And once the grading report comes back, that little penny could be your ticket to the kind of story that coin collectors talk about for decades. Because they're finite. Once the mint corrects its mistake, no more are made. Every year that passes, collectors hoard the few that exist, driving up the price. Auctions get heated. Bidding wars erupt. Dealers whisper about the next big find. It's more than collecting. It's a treasure hunt. And this coin is one of the greatest treasures still hiding out there. Imagine handing that penny to a dealer and watching their eyes widen. They take out a magnifier, lean closer, and whisper, "You know what you have here, right?" That moment alone is worth more than words. The rush, the realization, the power of having found something that almost nobody else ever will. And remember this, the most valuable coins ever discovered weren't found in banks or museums. They were found by people like you. Everyday Americans who looked a little closer, who paid attention to what others ignored. That's how hidden fortune works. It hides in the ordinary. So tonight, when you get home, grab your change jar. Pour it out. Line up the pennies, one by one. Hold each 1999 coin under the light. Look closely. Search for the missing mint mark. Because one of those could be your moment. Your discovery. Your story to tell for the rest of your life. The idea that a simple coin, something meant to buy gum or pay tax, could turn into $1 million find is almost unbelievable. But that's exactly what makes it so incredible. The 1999 no mint mark Lincoln penny has already shocked collectors, turned heads at auctions, and rewritten what's possible in modern coin collecting. And here's the truth that keeps collectors awake at night. Not all of them have been found. Some are still out there, circulating, hiding, waiting. Maybe in a roll of pennies at your bank. Maybe in your car's cup holder. Maybe right in your hand as you watch this. Imagine holding an ordinary penny in your hand, something you've seen 1,000 times before. You flip it between your fingers without a second thought. But what if I told you that one of those common-looking 1987 Lincoln pennies, a coin most people spend without a second glance, could secretly be worth over $1 million? Hidden in plain sight, this penny has become one of the most mysterious and valuable discoveries in modern numismatic history. It began quietly, like all great mysteries do. Somewhere in the late 1980s, when Ronald Reagan was in office and the U.S. Mint was producing billions of pennies every year, something unusual happened. In the busy presses of Philadelphia and Denver, one penny was struck without a mint mark, a subtle, almost invisible mistake that would go unnoticed for decades. Nobody at the mint realized it then, but that tiny absence, that missing letter, would one day make this coin one of the rarest ever produced. That was impossible. By then, minting processes were automated and precise. The days of human error were supposed to be over. But a few collectors began whispering about a strange 1987 Lincoln cent that lacked any sign of a D or P mint mark. A penny struck clean, as if nature itself had wiped away its identity. For years, these whispers were dismissed as rumors, hoaxes, or simple were on the coin's surface. But then, one day, a collector stumbled upon something extraordinary. While sorting through a jar of change, he noticed a 1987 penny that looked slightly different. Sharper details, cleaner strike, and most importantly, no mint mark at all. He took it to an expert, expecting nothing. What he learned changed his life forever. It wasn't a worn-out coin. It wasn't a damaged die. It was a genuine minting anomaly, an authentic 1987 Lincoln cent with no mint mark. A coin that technically shouldn't exist. And when it hit the auction block, bidders from around the country fought over it like it was the last treasure on earth. Its final sale price? just shy of $1 million. And that was only the beginning. Think about that for a moment. A coin worth $1 million, born from an error so small you could overlook it with the blink of an eye. This is what drives collectors wild. The thrill that something so ordinary could turn out to be extraordinary. It's the heartbeat of every treasure hunter, every coin lover, every dreamer who still believes lightning can strike in their own pocket change. You're sitting at your kitchen table, rolling up pennies for deposit. You see that familiar brown coin, Abraham Lincoln, staring back at you. You glance at the date, 1987. You tilt it under the light. You expect to see a little D or P just below the date, the mark of the mint that made it. But this time, nothing. Smooth, clean, empty. Your pulse quickens. Could it be? Before you rush to conclusions, let's talk about how to identify the real one. The genuine 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny shows no trace of a letter under the date, not even the faintest impression. It's not a worn-away mark. It's not damaged. Under magnification, you'll see that the surface where the mint mark should be is completely flat and unaltered. The coin's details, Lincoln's profile, the rim, the lettering, remain sharp and crisp, just like a freshly minted coin. Most importantly, this error is typically found on pennies that were struck with the same die characteristics as Philadelphia minted coins. Yet, they lack the P. That's what makes it so puzzling. It defies logic. And that's exactly why collectors are willing to pay unbelievable sums to own it. Now, let's reset for a moment. Picture the chaos of the U.S. Mint in 1987. Billions of coins struck, machines roaring, metal flashing under fluorescent lights. Somewhere amid that symphony of steel, a single die slipped through the system. A die that should have been marked with a mint letter, but wasn't. It produced only a handful of coins before being replaced, maybe dozens, maybe fewer. And those few survivors were released quietly into circulation, mingling with billions of their ordinary brothers and sisters. Decades passed. People spent them, dropped them, ignored them. Some were lost in couch cushions or left in dusty jars. But a precious few, were saved by chance. And those are the coins that now fetch fortunes. For the serious collector, finding a 1987 no mint mark penny is like striking gold in your own home. They check their jars, their rolls, their childhood piggy banks, all for that one clean, unmarked date. Every time they flip over a penny, their heart skips a beat. The market for rare error coins has exploded in recent years. Collectors from around the world are paying record-breaking prices for coins with unique histories, especially those with minting mistakes. These coins tell stories of human error, mechanical failure, and sheer luck. The 1987 no mint mark penny represents all of that, a perfect storm of rarity, mystery, and value. And it's not just about the money. It's about the magic. The idea that something as humble as a penny could hold a secret worth $1 million. That's what draws people in. That's what keeps collectors searching late into the night, sorting through piles of coins, driven by the hope that the next one they pick up could be the one. First, look closely under the date. Use a magnifying glass. If you see any sign of a D or P, it's not the one. But if it's completely blank and the rest of the coin looks freshly struck, you could be holding history. Check for a strong rim, bold lettering, and sharp details in Lincoln's hair and coat. These are signs of an early die strike, and early strikes are where these rare no mint mark errors are most often found. Collectors recommend weighing the coin too. The 1987 Lincoln penny should weigh around 2.5 grams if it's copper-plated zinc. Anything significantly different might indicate damage or tampering. Authentic examples maintain the same weight as normal 1987 pennies. It's the absence of the mint mark that makes them special. If you think you found one, don't clean it. Don't polish it. Leave it exactly as it is and take it to a professional numismatist or coin grading service. A verified no mint mark 1987 penny could easily fetch tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands, depending on condition, and a top-grade example might soar past the $1 million mark. Now, imagine what that would mean for you. One small coin, tucked away in your change jar, suddenly transforming your life. That's the kind of story that makes headlines, the kind of discovery that turns collectors into legends. The beauty of it all is that anyone, anywhere, could find one. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be an expert. Just curious, patient, and observant. Every penny you touch could hold the potential for something greater. And that's the true power of this mystery. It reminds us that even in the smallest, most overlooked things, unimaginable value can hide. All it takes is one person, one moment, to see what no one else SAW.so tonight. When you empty your pockets or sort your change, pause for a second. Look at that 1987 penny a little closer. Feel the weight of history between your fingers. Because in that simple coin could lie a forgotten treasure, a $1 million miracle that's been hiding in plain sight for nearly 4 decades.